Hello friends, this is Khushbu Raleigh from US Impact, US Indo-American Members Political Action Committee of Texas, and we are in election season. Right now I am with Stephen Noskin, who is running for phase 2 in ISD. He's already on ISD as a board of trustee. He's already a member and he comes with tremendous experience. He has been a member of West Frisco HOA, Parade Alliance, and he's been involved in community in different ways. And he's been very active lately, all the campaign stuff going on. First of all, thank you for giving us your time. Thank you for being on this platform. We would like to know more about you. Our viewers would like to know more about you. And then about your top priorities related to Frisco ISD.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I love the opportunity to speak with you, tell you a little bit about me. So I've lived in Frisco for about 5.5 years. I've been married to the same wonderful woman for 32 of those years. I love those years. And I have 4 beautiful children, aged 27, 25, 18, and 16. 2 of them are presently in the school district, senior and a sophomore at Reedy High School. I'm really looking forward to running for re-election because I have a lot of things that I'd like to continue with. And one of them is to recruit and retain our teachers. There's a 16% turnover for teachers right now, and the pool of candidates is not as great as we'd want. So we have 800 teachers that we have to replace every year. I have proposed what I call the 3 R's to recruit, retain, and reward our teachers to make teaching a long-lasting profession. Right now, teachers, they come to Frisco, they make a very good salary. They start at a very competitive salary, but within 10 years with inflation, they basically aren't making, and they don't really have an increase in their salary. So if we could provide a scale, a long-term scale of salary, so you can see 10 years out how much you're going to make, it's going to increase the pool. We're going to have more people that are going to applying for the job, so our selectivity can be greater, and our existing teachers will stay longer. And I think that's really important right now, especially as our school system, our school district continues to grow.
That's absolutely important for a lot of other professions. If they are taking into consideration the inflation, why not for teachers? And on so many other grounds, teachers get neglected. What are your thoughts on things like the compensation benefits, the insurance benefits, retirement benefits? Recently, Long Range Planning Committee have submitted their findings. So what are your thoughts on those?
Right, we reviewed a lot of that in our last board workshop, and there's a couple of items that the board will review, but I'm very concerned. I really want to help teachers with disability or maternity leave. I think that's really important. I think also the probability of adding back to the 401 for a future retirement is really important as well. So that comes back to my 3 R's. That's the rewards part of it. So the compensation and the rewards will help retain our teachers and recruit new ones.
Absolutely. With the growing number of schools, we definitely need new good teachers as well.
Exactly.
So those 3 R's are the fundamental requirement of the system. I would like to know your thoughts regarding the TRE and the tax recapture system, because now Frisco is falling into that situation where we end up giving more tax to Austin, but that's a good problem to have because we are growing economy. We have grown a little ahead of our time, and of course we can pay more taxes, but it's also linked to the highly appraised houses. So what's your take on this entire situation, and how can some people be answered in terms of why they're paying high taxes?
Right, well, there are going to be some changes with the new HB3. And I think that's really going to change the whole the public financing for schools will change. The HB3 hopefully will provide a larger basic allotment. So basically, just to round off the numbers, say we're getting about $5,100 per student. With the new HB3, it'll probably go up to almost $6,000 per student. So we're going to probably net as a district about $33 million, of which, if HB3 goes forward the way it's supposed to, 25% of it has to go toward teacher salaries. So that'll help what I just spoke about. The assessment also, because the compressed rate will be reduced of our taxes, we hopefully will see a tax decrease based on evaluations. So it's really going to depend on the state legislature.
That would be great. And based on recent incidents, there is much talk regarding the security system, and I know amongst one of the items out there, we do have bulletproof window glasses for the schools. Any other items or any your thoughts on those lines? How can we protect our teachers and students? And I mean, it's in general considered safe, but still it's being targeted at me.
We've done a lot of great things as a school board. One of them is called Safer. And that's where we have about 4,000 cameras throughout the district. And they have a live feed to police squadron cars and to the fire department. So in case of an emergency, there's an immediate reaction. We've also implemented as a pilot program at the elementary schools where, if you're familiar with the Ring doorbell app, so there'll be a camera at each entrance before you get into the school that you have to show ID to get into the school. Those two things really help. We also have our own emergency manager who oversees any type of emergencies for the district. We added that position last year. And we also do training for all our administration as well as all the principals and the assistant principals in all of the schools.
That's great. I heard there's a program that police department offers to the schools regarding, anti-bullying, like how to handle it well. But apparently it seems teachers already have too much on their plate to be able to train on something like that. So maybe they need an extra workforce. But your thoughts on those, because Frisco is growingly becoming more and more diverse. And sometimes unknowingly, kids fall in such situations.
Right.
So what would be your thoughts on something like that?
Well, the new Stop It app is really important. I think has prohibited a lot of these bullying situations, but also has provided links to possible perpetrators within the district, people that have made threats to the schools. The Stop It app's been really good. And I think the overall consensus in the high school is to educate the kids to understand that bullying is just not accepted, that we're all equal classmates and need to be treated with the utmost respect. And I think that's an ongoing program that all our campuses are involved in, and I think it's trickling down. And I think it's trickling down, and it's coming to fruition.
Interesting. So once you get re-elected, we'd like to know what would be your top priorities for Frisco, for kids, for families here.
Right. So I think we need to have more transparency. We've done a really good job. I've presented to the board, and it looks like it's going forward with a scorecard. We've asked our residents to pass the TRE and the bond, the $691 million bond, and I think by providing a scorecard online so that you could see the promises made and the promises kept, it'll just make people feel at ease that, you know what, we said we were going to spend money on these items, and we have, and you can see it directly on the website. So getting people to understand that we are transparent is really important. The teacher, the 3 R's, like I mentioned, is really important. Student safety is really important. But to provide what's best for our students and teachers while still being fiscally prudent is what I try and do every time we have a board meeting or when I meet with my fellow board members.
That's interesting. So I think maybe that's the one thing that you would definitely see kinda is maybe missing, which definitely needs to be implemented, and transparency is always a big factor. People should be able to easily see. Any other topics besides that you think needs urgent attention as of now, because you have had multiple interactions being already part of the system? There have been so many times you've had the council meetings and people have come up and spoken. One of them would be, for example, this international languages, giving more options, to high school kids, getting more credits via different systems, and having well-rounded kids for future. Because times are changing so fast, maybe robotics or whatever. So your thoughts on creating future-ready kids? What kind of curriculum updates that we can do overall to make them strong?
Right, that's a great question. I mean, I come from a business perspective, and I'm not trying to say that education is a business, but if we relate or make an analogy to it, in business we try and create the best quality product, right, at the reasonable price. That's what attracts consumers. Well, our students, they have to be the best students. They are essentially our product when they come out. They either have to be work ready, go through the CTE Center and learn a trade, which I think we need to enhance our options there, maybe add electrical contracting or plumbing or HVAC, but also the kids that are going to college. What can we give them that they don't already have? Let's enhance their studies by adding a language like Hindi, I think is a great opportunity. I mean, I'm studying for my MBA now, and we're studying, global integration. And the Indian economy is going to be the largest economy in the world within 10 years. So why not give these students here in Frisco the opportunity to learn a language that they can then go to India or have Indians come here and be able to communicate at a better level. It just shows, besides if they have the language, it shows the intent to communicate. Even though English is the broad language of business, to have that language as Hindi as something in their back pocket will make them more successful. And I think we need to look at other opportunities within the district to help our students become whole.
Very true. Knowing more than one languages definitely helps in current business market anyways. So more exposure they have, I think, is better for everybody. Your thoughts on programs which already exist in Frisco, for example, YEA, Young Entrepreneurs Academy, and then Incubator EDU. So it seems we are definitely promoting, apart from that we have talks and all. So we are promoting all the startups and businesses and companies, and we are trying to attract such startups and businesses, and how to create these high school kids, how to basically groom them better towards such kind of business world, which is more of a challenging in terms of ideas and implementation on their own, which makes them more entrepreneurial. So I know Frisco is already doing something, but any other additions more, or your thoughts on those lines?
We continue to increase the viabilities for these options. I mean, the ISM is a really good program as well. That's one of my favorite things, going to the STAR and seeing these mentorships that take place between students and professionals in our area. And I think that helps kids not only realize that they want to go into a certain area of study, but if they do, how exciting they become to continue. So I think that's a great option. I think the Incubator ED is a great program, and that's local professionals working with students. I think the more we can entangle businesses and students will just open their eyes more to see how the capitalist system works and the success that you can achieve.
Those are great inputs, and also like with this growing problem that we have, which is a good problem to have, we do have some schools which are overpopulated because the school rating is so high. In general, ISD is rated so well, but still within that also there are certain schools which are highly preferred by the people, the residents over here, and especially some of them fall in the belt, which are 121. And some of them also are like, ISD Frisco, but they are in different cities, like Plano, the neighboring cities that people live there. They are being crowded versus there's some one school in Liscano, I think, which was built but then it started functioning a little later. So how to balance all this and how to manage this incoming influx, which is about it's 300 per day, people are moving in Frisco, one of the biggest reasons being ISD. So of course we're all doing a great job, you all are. But then how to manage this amongst the schools itself, because maybe rezoning needs to be done, but that adds pressure on kids as well. But we need to do that as well as provide them all the amenities and facilities and the education for sure. So we'd like to know your thoughts on that because it's very rapidly growing in the way it needs some solution along with the speed the way it's going. So.
Yeah, the Plano portion of the district, it's very important to the school board to make sure that we watch the capacity in those schools, and we have been watching. It seems like it will level out a little bit, and we're going to watch that. I'm on the rezoning committee. We're looking at that part of the community very seriously, and if we see that it's going to reach over capacity, we're going to have to make some major changes. But as of now, we haven't. I like what we've done as a district, though, to try and maximize capacity within schools with lower enrollments. So like, for example, the Bright Academy. Bright Elementary School, before we made it an IB system, was probably about 50 to 60% capacity. A lot of people, for whatever reason, didn't want to go to Bright. But now that we add the IB there, it's now at full capacity. That's just smart planning. Frisco High School as well. The enrollment capacity was lowered. We made the IB program there. It's now filling up. If we could come up with creative ways to provide more programs for our students, and this is off the cuff, this is not a school board suggestion, this is myself, but have maybe an art school, that facilitates those that are interested in arts, or a business type campus. And that way you can utilize these campuses that are not full, have students move out of existing campuses because they want to study those items, and then it opens up other areas. I think that's what you're going to see in the future. And again, I'm not speaking for the board, I'm speaking for myself. But that's something that I would like to do, because we have the multitude of schools, and we need to really fill the capacity, because that, reduces our overhead per school and maximizes our expenditures.
So also would like to know your thoughts on charter schools. Those are very popular. Everybody wants to go there. So they are funded by the same system but a little differently. So what's your take on the promotion of those schools? We had a new one last year. Startup.
So from what I understand, the rules are different for charter schools than public schools. It's a lot easier to actually start a charter school, and they have to follow certain curriculum standards, but not the way we do. You know what? I say bring it on, because I'm proud of FISD and what we can present to our taxpayers as an extremely well-balanced curriculum, a social environment, an academic environment for our students that a charter school could never do. Like I said earlier, I own my own business, and I'm a capitalist by nature, so I welcome competition. Do I like to see charter schools? No, I believe totally in public schools, public school education, but I think we offer a better product than they do. I don't think they can really compete. I think people that go to charter schools have a reason for going. Maybe they want a smaller environment. Maybe their child needs specific attention that we can't provide on a larger scale. But I think we compete extremely well against any charter school. And if people want to, it's their option to charter school or homeschool, that's up to them. But I think we offer a fantastic education.
Another issue which was much talked about when we went for the PTA rally in Austin, actually kids came this time from Frisco ISD, as a very, very nice thing. And they were talking about drugs as an issue. And I was also shocked to see that even some teachers in the librarians, they could just smell in some schools, and how to tackle that problem, because how to find it and how to, so that other kids are protected and they...
Yeah, this is an ongoing problem. I mean, drugs are in schools. That's a problem, and we know that. One of the things that we've been doing as a school board is providing more dogs for sniffing out drugs and for powder. We've added more dog routines or dog walkthroughs through the high schools to try and prevent it, and it actually works. We get multiple hits every single time. What does that mean? Well, students are asked to leave their classroom, but they have to leave their belongings behind. And then we bring the dogs to the school, and they sniff out the bags or the coats, and they find out, who might have these the drugs, and we get rid of it. But it is prevalent in society. Unfortunately, it is, and I think it really comes back to parental involvement as well, to know and be active with your child, to understand what they're doing in high school or with their friends, and I think that will prevent a lot of these things from happening.
That is true. We all want security and safety for sure for our kids, over the future of us and our country for sure. So definitely this is an issue. It comes up as an issue of concern, because sometimes it's just that we don't want that exposure, them to have that, and sometimes all that is, they're just curious and they try it once and then that's it, they want sometimes, and they get addicted in a very less short amount of time. But good to know your input and thoughts. Also, there's a bill coming up on those lines regarding one of those substances which is being legalized, marijuana. But then let's see what happens. As a parent, I know what I want.
You mean the CBD oil? Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unfortunate, and like I say to many parents, stay with your child, talk to your child, understand your child's needs. Of course, teenagers are going to keep things from you. That's what teenagers do. That's what we did when we were teenagers. But if they are grounded in some respect, then they understand their boundaries. And once they understand their boundaries, they are more responsible.
Thank you so much for giving us your time.
It was my pleasure.
And anything else that you would like to talk to our viewers, please feel free. And everybody, please go out and vote. May 4th is the day. And please use your right well. Thank you so much.
I appreciate the opportunity, and people can find out more about me on my website at stevenoskin.com. I list my achievements, I list my endorsements, I have some videos on the site as well. But most importantly to me is that I have always been accessible to the stakeholders in this community. I was the first board member to ever put their personal cell phone on the FISD website. And believe me, I've received phone calls and I've met with a lot of people, and that's really important to me. So when my endorsements on my page are from individuals that I've worked with and helped, I'm truly honored by that. So that is one thing I will commit for my next 3 years, that I will always be an accessible board member to all those who want to talk to me, discuss their situations, and believe me, I will help you.